everyone. This is Kathleen Baber with Apricot Tree Planning, and I'm coming at you today with kind of a beginner's planner video. And beginners because I've had some questions recently from folks who are just starting and they're kind of confused by all our jargon. So I wanted to kind of clarify that. And I'm sorry, I'm doing this on my phone in kind of selfie mode, and I'm just realizing like all the words are backwards. So I don't know how that's gonna work when you watch this. So anyhow, hopefully it won't make a big difference or make you think I'm like dyslexic or something. Anyway, so I just wanted to kind of, so if you're not a beginner, if you're already into planners, this may be super boring for you. So, but I did want to kind of address some things and hopefully give some good insights. And so I've written myself some notes so that I don't go down a ton of rabbit trails and miss some things. So if you're brand new or just thinking about purchasing your first planner, you've got lots of options. There's some really cool things out there, some really affordable things and some not so affordable things. I guess depending on what your budget is or what you consider affordable. But when you're looking around on the internet or on Etsy or Pinterest and you see the abbreviations, even that can be confusing. So EC stands for Erin Condren. Erin Condren Life Planners is a website where you can order a very personalized planner. They come in two versions, which are a vertical, which I'll show you in just a second, or a horizontal. And then there's HP, which you'll also see around and about, and that stands for Happy Planner. And Happy Planners come in a couple of versions also. They come in vertical and horizontal, but they also come in multiple sizes. They come in classic, a mini, and a big, and I'll show you some of those here in just a minute too. Most of the planner videos and such that you see where people are using kits and everything, those are designed for vertical planners. And here's what I mean by vertical. So this is a kind of banged up version of a, this is the, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my words today. This is the Michaels kind of knockoff of an Erin Condren. Erin Condren planners are kind of pricey. They start at like $55 and they're spiral bound. So that's really nice because you can flip it back on itself and stuff. And then they go up according to different choices you make. What type of cover you get on it, what color coil you get, whether you buy an 18-month planner or a 12-month planner, I think also helps determine the price. So there's a couple of determiners in there that definitely affect what that bottom line is. You can have your name put on the cover. I mean, they're very, very pretty and they're very high quality when it comes to like the paper choice and all of that. This is a Michaels version, and as you can see, you've got columns, so vertical for your days, and you've got 3 rows, and this is the same format that you're going to see in Happy Planner as well. They allocate the space a little differently, but the overall page space is almost identical between the two. Erin Condren planners have a bigger section here at the bottom where you can write additional notes or things like that, but overall the idea is that you've got these 3 rows and you have 7 vertical columns that you use to plan. So some folks divide this up by morning, afternoon, evening. Some folks might do it by, here's my kid's schedule, here's my schedule, here's my work schedule, or, you know, maybe you don't have work, or you know, but you're the organizer for the Little League, or, you know, or you've got a church assignment, or, you know, something else that takes a ton of your time. So you can do it that way, or what most folks that you see doing what they call plan with me's on YouTube and stuff are doing is they'll make one a to-do, one is kind of decorative, and the other is kind of what am I blocking out my time for today? You know, what after school activities do we have to attend to? What errands do I have to run? So that's usually how you'll see most folks actually using their planner. Sorry, it's kind of playing with the light balance here. So you have the same thing with the Happy Planner, only this is a smaller section here, so your actual boxes are a little larger. So that's one of the main differences between the Erin Condren versions and the Happy Planner versions, is the overall size of this box. So like I say, if you like the dimensions and the availability, like kit-wise and stuff, the availability on Erin Condren is much more prevalent, especially if you're shopping for kits and everything through Etsy. You'll always see Erin Condren in like every shop. You don't always see Happy Planner in every shop. That doesn't mean you can't adapt an Erin Condren kit to a Happy Planner actually pretty easily. Just kind of ignore the box sizes and just go at it. So those are two of the abbreviations you see, EC and HC, or EC and HP. You also see TN, and TN stands for Traveler's Notebook, and those have become increasingly popular. A lot of people are actually moving away, or they're adding a TN to their planners. Now, I use a Happy Planner, but I also carry a B6 TN. And Traveler's Notebooks come in tons of sizes. So I'm not even going to get into all the sizes, because you can do a pretty quick Google search to see all the different sizes. I started out in what's called a standard TN, which is like this one. This was a Webster's Pages. It's a standard size. It's pretty much a half sheet of paper. You know, if you folded a sheet of paper in half, this would be the overall dimensions. And so I liked this size very much for a long time, but I felt it was a little tall and a little narrow for how I planned and how I wanted to use the actual notebooks. And so I moved over to a B6, which this is a cover that I made myself from a placemat, and I really like it. But B6s also come in. The fun thing about Traveler's Notebooks is that you have so much variety in what you decide to put in it. If you just want a notebook or an art journal, or you want to keep a calendar, or you just want to keep lists of things, you know, like a reading log or a travel log, or your grocery and meal planning, that's what these are great for. I find that I keep a lot of lists in this. I do my meal planning, I have my check register, and this is what goes in my purse. I also have a calendar in here. I refer to the monthly almost more than the weekly in this. But there are a ton of designers out there who do inserts. You can buy them already printed and bound. Some of them are staple bound, some of them are sewn down the middle. There's just a lot of great Etsy stores that do this. Also, like 1407, they're not on Etsy, but I think they're on Shopify is their platform, but you just have to look them up for 1407. Annie's Printables, so much, what is it? So Much Planning, but the so is SEW. So Much Crafting, yeah, So Much Crafting. Lots of people will print these, or you can buy a printable file and print it off yourself at home. Jacinia Plans is another really good one. The nice thing about the ones that you get that are printable is you can try out lots of different sizes before you spend any serious money on a cover. Because unfortunately, if you get into the beautiful leather ones, you're putting in some money, and you got to be pretty committed to that size. If you just want to spend, like $5 on a printable, print it out, try it for a couple months, and then say, maybe I'm more of a pocket. Maybe I would just want something tiny. You don't have a huge investment in it. So, and I love 1407 because they have what they call try-me sizes for vinyl covers. And for just like under $10, you can get a cover and just start trying sizes and see if you like it. I think it's a really smart way to do that if you want to get into traveler's notebooks, because even like the Webster's Pages one I had there, that was a $30 investment, and I don't use that one any longer. So another abbreviation that you'll often see connected is PWM, which stands for Plan With Me. And that is a fabulous way to do a search in YouTube for Plan With Me or PWM, and you will find lots of people who show you how they use their planners, how they sit down and they make it decorative and yet still functional for them. It just gives you a ton of resources. You find out which shops they like, how they use a kit. It can kind of help guide you to see if you look at something and you go, ooh, that is just crazy busy, I can't do that. You know that you're not a no white space planner, which is another one of those lingos that we use. A no white space planner is somebody who uses that entire column, and whether they have an event or not, they'll put something decorative there, they'll use some washi tape or something to fill in the space, but their whole column will be jam-packed with whatever their events were for that day. Their to-do list, all of that. Another term you'll hear is memory planning, which is basically journaling. So instead of planning for the future, they are recollecting the past. They're reconstructing that day, everything that they were able to accomplish, all the places they went. Some folks do it with photos, which is fabulous, so it's kind of a hybrid between, it's basically using a planner as a scrapbook. So it's kind of cool. To me, I wouldn't put my to-do list on it unless I was actually just kind of documenting all the places I went or a big accomplishment. But I think it's really, really neat when you can incorporate pictures. So if you're looking to do that kind, Happy Planner, this is a big Happy Planner. And they are designed, this is an 8.5 by 11, and their columns are designed to actually fit little zip photos. So if you have a zip printer, these are great because you can just fill it out and boom, you can just put it right in there using the sticky bits that come right on that paper. So big Happy Planners are fabulous as memory keepers. What else? So we talked about memory plan. This is a mini Happy Planner. Lots of folks love these because they are really great to just be able to carry around. Now they only come in a horizontal, although they do have a fitness one that is in vertical, but this was actually kind of one I was keeping as a journal. So I don't want to flash you with that, but this is what a horizontal layout looks like. And so you can get horizontal layouts in the Erin Condren regular size, the Happy Planner regular size, the big Happy Planner regular size, and I think they really do work nicely for a journal, though, just for jotting down those things that you're grateful for. Or the idea that somebody had shared was that they were using it as a gratitude journal for their spouse. And I thought that was fabulous. And that's what this one was supposed to be, but I didn't get it all the way done. So my spouse has not received that one. Another thing you might hear of is a personal planner. And usually what people are talking about when they talk personal planners is they're talking about a ring bound planner. This is actually my daughter's. It's a Michael's brand Recollections, just a black one. She didn't want anything glitzy or colorful. That's my girl. Anyway, they come with like little horizontal planner pages in them, but you can definitely get some really cute printables, inserts to do, or Carpe Diem has some really nice inserts that you can buy separately also. These ring band planners, you know, they come in a lot of different sizes as well. A5 is a size that I've used in the past for different projects, which is basically a half sheet of paper again. But when you're planning and you're thinking, okay, but this is, I just want to show you size wise, B6 and a personal are just about the same size in your purse. I have 4 inserts in here, so that's a lot. Usually, you know, 4 would be my max. I don't think I'd, but if you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, that's really kind of the size I want, but I don't know if I want ring or not. Look how much more, look how much space is accommodated for the rings, and you get that much more space that you're planning on both sides of the ring. So it's a lot more space for writing, and it just gives you a bigger page really, without taking up actually more space in your purse. Although I will say this is a lot heavier because she doesn't have a ton of stuff in this one. So that's what a personal planner is. When people say personal planner, like, they're all personal, it's all my stuff. But that's kind of the size that they're talking about there. So let's talk about kits. Kits are beautiful, and you will find more kits on Etsy than you could ever shake a stick at. They range in price, they range in size. So when folks are offering like a mini kit, it's usually fewer sheets. Some large kits may be as many as 6 to 8 sheets. My basic kits come with 6 sheets. Then you can add on to those and make it an 8 sheet kit, or you can add on and make it a 10 sheet kit, which I call a mega kit, which will definitely last more than 1 week. I know, like, when you're first looking at planners and stuff, you're probably thinking like I did, oh my goodness, how could I spend $10 a week, and there's 52 weeks in the year, to make my planner beautiful? Well, these kits are quite large, and they definitely can be used for more than 1 week. But I know a lot of planners absolutely have a kit a week. I knew I couldn't do that, and so that's kind of how I got into designing kits. But let me just show you. I'm going to show you a mock-up, and that means that this is a kit that I designed, and I test my kits in a planner. This is a happy planner that I'm used here. I'm just trying to come up with one that's okay. This is probably the kit I'm going to use this week. This is the hydrangea kit, and I love it. I think it's very beautiful. When I test it, I try to put all the bits in, all the pieces. So as you can see here, this is a box. It takes up the whole space, and so we call it a full box. This is a box that takes about half of this space, and so it's called a half box. And this is a quarter box. So you could do half box and 2 quarter boxes in that space. In the Erin Condren, because it has a bigger space here at the bottom that most people just use for decoration with what we call bottom washi. Bottom washi in a Erin Condren version is much thicker because that space is thicker. And so all the full boxes, half boxes, and quarter boxes kind of get shrunk to accommodate that size difference. These are like 2 1/4 inches tall, whereas in the Erin Condren version, they're 1.9 inches tall. So that 1/4 inch doesn't sound like a lot, but it makes a big difference as far as, you know, the sizes on this. So, and then these are called full box checklists. And I'm going to switch over to showing you guys what a kit looks like here in just a second, how it comes. And so this is kind of how a lot of people would plan a day, would be have a to-do list somewhere, top or bottom or middle, have one box that's just taken up with a decorative box, and then on this bottom bit, use it however would work right for them. Say you have one big event in the afternoon. I just made this one up using an icon saying, okay, at this time we have haircuts. But you can see that you can fit, you know, several events there. A lot of times this isn't like what's your routine, but these are the things that you need to remember because they stand out. So that is the idea there. Let me just show you. Okay, so like this is a Cinderella kit. This is a happy planner size. And so you have 8 full boxes. And then these little dots, they're great for just marking, you know, just putting a dot down and saying, don't forget, or doctor's appointment. But again, that's a way to stretch a kit out, because say what if I had a really busy time and I couldn't use all my full boxes that week. I had too many things to put down, so I only used, say, 4 of them. Then I've got 3 more to still make a beautiful scene on another week. These are the half boxes and the quarter boxes. There are a ton on here, definitely enough for multiple weeks. Or multiple planners. If you're using an Erin Condren or a Happy Planner at home, and you don't carry it with you, then you might have a traveler's notebook or a personal size that you can turn around. And as long as they're using that 1.5 inch width, it's very interchangeable to just put them in. Here's the bottom washi. Again, what we talked about in an Erin Condren, these are going to be wider. That's just one of the main differences. And then these are to-do flags. So some folks don't care to have the whole thing be a to-do. And sometimes they would rather just slice these and say, I just am going to do my top 4 or my top 3 for the day. And so these are really nice and adjustable to whatever your priorities are that day. These are some more quarter boxes. And then you have these little flags. And these are great. You can pop them on top of a quarter box or a half box, or just have them on themselves. Again, they just kind of denote, hey, look at this. And these are called habit trackers. And so folks will put these in their planners to say, okay, I want to track that I'm taking my vitamins every single day. And so they'll write vitamin here, and then they'll just check mark over Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. Or I'm going to walk every day, and then just check mark on the days that they did it. And so it's just kind of a nice little accountability tool. Did I actually, you know, get my walking done, or whatever it might be. It might be reading 30 minutes, or, you know, did I kiss my sweetheart, or, you know, whatever it is. And then these again are the full checklist. For a while it seemed everybody did ombre checklists, so they had like varying degrees of color saturation. I think that's gone out of vogue just a little bit. I do still see them sometimes in certain shops. It's kind of their trademark, but I'm not doing them that way any longer. Just some little bill due stickers, and then like this is a little movie marquee. So say you have a date night or a movie night that you're going out, it's kind of fun to mark that, like entertainment, we went to a play or concert or something fun like that. Then these are little 3-heart checklists. So if you still wanted to have like a full box, and see these kind of have a little ombre effect to them. um, you wanted a box and not the flags, you have that option. These also work great on the sidebar, which is this section here. So a lot of times people will put what they call a quote box. So a lot of kits will have one box that has some little quote to it. And then they'll have what's called a weekly sticker, where these sometimes go here. And these can be used for meal planning, for tracking the hours that you worked that week, just anything. I've known people who track what money they made that week or spent that week, or maybe they're on a no spend, or what have you. No spend is another one of those kind of planner things that, or at least I didn't hear it until I was in the planner world, which is setting yourself a goal that I will not spend any money this week or this month. I can't buy any more planner supplies. And see, like, here's the little habit tracker. So this sidebar can be any number of things. I'll show you some little, what we call headers, and how you can use those little 3-heart checklists to make a sidebar that's meaningful for you. These are little washi strips, and so they look like a solid thing, but they're actually little 1/4-inch strips. And especially when people use plan with what they call no white space, they might just use this to fill in some space. They actually don't want any just white paper to show through. So it's like, oh, okay, I've got this, but then I kind of have a little bit of a break between those two activities, and they just kind of fill in with a little piece of decorative washi. These are also great for using, say, with, like this little dentist one. You could put this little strip down, stick this right in the middle, and oh, okay, yep, and I've got the dentist that afternoon or whatever. We call this a weekend banner because it just fits over 2 boxes. So whatever time of the week is your weekend. I used to work where Tuesday and Wednesday was my weekend. So this is kind of nice because I can fit that on a Tuesday, Wednesday instead of just, Saturday, Sunday, because we all don't get the same weekend. My husband, his weekend is Sunday, Monday. So, and then like this last sheet has, called this deco, just short for decoration. Just little bits that you can use all around your planner to just make it really cute. These are like some scripty icons. They form words, and you can pop them on top of any of the boxes. These are just words that I use the most, so I use them in my kits. And then these are what we call headers. So in different planners, you have a different amount of space to make a header. So like on top of each of these to-do boxes, there's a to-do header. And then this is a decorative header. And then there's a today header. So some folks don't use the words ones. They use like what's called a glitter header. Like this is kind of a glitter header. And so it just kind of simulates glitter. But there are shops that sell just glitter headers, so you can get just beautiful, beautiful, all sorts of combinations with that. And so headers can work really well for just, again, you can just use them to fill space, but it kind of helps you to know what those different sections are to you. Because some folks, like I said, they don't want to do all their to-dos clear across. They might randomize them across the page just to make it look cute. Me, I need that where I know where to look for my to-dos. So I like it that to be very, very the same. I used to randomize it, and it just is too jumbly for me. That brings up anxiety. I don't want it to look jumbly. I need it to look orderly and neat, like I've got it under control, even when I don't. And then, like I was telling you, these are kind of some other headers that you can use, especially in the sidebar, with those little 3-heart checklists, like top priority, this week, I usually put this weekly one, and I'll put this week on it. And I usually mean this week's meals. Next week, I mean, what if you already know next week's schedule and you want to stick that down, or next week there's a huge to-do that you got to do, to go, what do I have? To buy, to clean, and remember. So, you know, those little checklists could work really well with these guys. You know, maybe it's the week that you want to do windows, or it's your week to deep clean the kitchen, you know, whatever you wanted to put there as your priority for that week. Works really well. So you don't have to have a kit to have a cute planner. And you definitely, in my opinion, don't want, I don't know anybody, I mean, I guess I do know a few people who can do 52 kits a year, and who can and actually do more. And that's great for them. They have the budget for that. But I like to stretch them out. I like to use up the extras that I don't use on one week. I will use it with scrapbook paper. Scrapbook paper is awesome in these planners, because all you're doing is making a couple of cuts with a paper trimmer and have yourself a little glue stick, and you've got full boxes. Really easy. I always have extra to-dos and flags. If I use the full heart checklist in my planner, I've got those flags that I can pop in. Another really great way, if you've already got one, especially if you're really trying to think, how can I do this budget friendly? But if you already have a Cricut or a Silhouette, if you're that kind of crafty gal, there are printable kits, and you can find them on Etsy. Some of them have the cut files with them. A lot of them are just the PDFs, but they've designed a kit. They've put it on PDF. You print it out, and then you can pull that into your cutter program and create the cut edges, the cut lines. And then you've got a sticker kit that you can use over and over again. So those are really, really fabulous for being budget friendly. But just using washi strips, you know, washi tape is fabulous. Using decorative markers, using stamps. Oh, there are some great stampers on YouTube. Watching them, oh, I just wish I could stamp. I just have no luck with it. I make a mess every time, and I'm never ever happy with it. So stamping is not my thing, but I would love it if it were. But those are some really budget-friendly ways, and the stamping especially is budget-friendly because you can use those same elements over and over again. There are some really darling stamps out there. Me and My Big Ideas, which are the people who make Happy Planner, they have some really, really cute ones too. Oh, Littles. I wanted to tell you guys about Littles. Let's see. Okay. So another lingo is date covers, which are these, where you've covered up where the date was. And they can be very, very pretty. And you can buy just date covers from different stores. Some stores have what they call foiling, where like here's what the dates look like in this book. And here's what it looks like when I cover them up. I just made it part of my scheme. It just ties it together, but for me personally, it is not a big deal. I don't use date covers on a regular basis. So, but this is what the date covers look like, and I provide numbers. A lot of folks don't. You just write it in. These are called time diamonds, or not time diamonds, time corners. They're kind of my thing. I don't know if a ton of different shops do them, but I like them because I like the way that looks, where you just put that little corner on there, and that's what time you're going to go run errands. Okay. And then these are called Littles. this part right here specifically. And I don't know how popular they are anymore. I don't see people using them the way they were for a while. But if you had a favorite television show that you didn't want to miss, and you know it comes on Tuesday night at 9, you could put this little TV there and say, you know, Big Brother. I don't want to miss Big Brother. Or Housewives. Those are my guilty pleasures. Also, there's little meal ones right here. Sometimes there's like Instagram, or like these are like little celebration ones. I don't use these, but I offer them because I know other people do. So that's what a little is, and they are a little 1/4 inch strip. And I guess they just kind of got their name because they're just little things that you wanted to keep track of. And it used to be that people did a lot of headers that said little things or little stuff. But I actually see more people doing more of a decorative header today and to do. And then like I offer these, this is part of what I makes it a deluxe kit. These alternate headers if you didn't want to put today and to do. Putting today really bothers me. I don't know why. It just bugs me because not every day is today. But very often my planner says today, 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 all the way across. And then these are just little appointment strips. Again, they're just that little 1/4 inch, but they're great for just putting in a little tiny skinny thing to mark. You know, littler than a quarter box, especially if you have multiple things that day and you've used a 1/2 and 2/4 and it's like space is up. No, you can sub some of these in. So, okay, so I wanted to explain headers and littles, and I think we've gone over that pretty well. And the last thing I just wanted to run over really quick was why I chose Happy Planner over Erin Condren. So when I first started looking around at planner stuff, I actually got drawn in first by bullet journaling. So if you're curious about what bullet journaling is, do a YouTube search. There's just a ton out there. It's basically drawing your own planner, which is really fascinating to me, but a little too time consuming for the way I need to work. It just was a little overwhelming, although I do a version of that for myself for my church calling. If you're LDS, you'll know the term Relief Society President. That's what I do at church. It's a pretty full-time thing some days. Some days it feels very full-time. And so anyway, I made myself a little bullet journal that I use for keeping Sunday notes and meeting notes, and I have kind of my church calendar in it, although I have it on my phone as well. I am having a blast doing that, but I would not want to try to do it for my everyday life. I enjoy having that separate from my regular family and personal plans. Works well for me. The things that I have to have on a weekly basis, you know, scheduled in, I've got that. That's no problem. And those are in my things, but all the notes on who's in charge of what and what is my assignment, that's not in my personal planner. So that's kind of how I got introduced to this, and that's when I stumbled upon the Happy Planner and the Erin Condren Planner. Actually, I think I probably came across Erin Condren first, and then I was really thrown off by the fact that, number one, because it's so I can't add and take away from an Erin Condren, and that was kind of a bummer for me because I was kind of used to like a ring bound planner where I could have different sections and add and take away that way. Can't do that. So what else? The Happy Planner I liked because I could go and I could see it and I could flip through it. And so they are available at Michael's and Hobby Lobby and a couple other places as well. Packatans is a small chain near us, but I've heard of people finding them at Sam's Club and Bed Bath & Beyond. Usually a box set. Usually the box sets are not dated though. So anyhow, that was one of the main things, and the price point. When I can buy something at Michael's, that means I can use a coupon or it's going to go on sale. Same thing with Hobby Lobby. I've always got a 40% off coupon. I can always get that $30 planner at 40% off, so that's kind of a big deal. And when you've got a starting price of $55, I mean, that's just a huge deal. So I'm already starting at half off of that $55, and then I'm getting it even cheaper. So I know not everybody loves the rings. I mean, that's these little discs. I have no problem with it. I love that I can pull things off. I love to take out several months in the past and I just stick them on another set of rings. And at the end of the year, I've got everything on that set of rings, and I've got, basically a cool accountability for what I did for the year, and a kind of the start of a journal, if nothing else. The Erin Condren ones, I've seen so many planners get frustrated by the end of their year going, this sucker won't close, it's this big, because let's face it, they get fatter the more stickers you stick in. Eventually it does grow your planner. So that's why I chose to go with the Happy Planner, was because, and Happy Planner also has a huge line of stickers. So if you don't want to jump into doing etiquettes, they have fabulous stickers. They come in, oh shoot, I don't have them right here. I just bought one. So you would think that I'd have it right here, but I don't. But they come in little tablets like this, and they have like a little elastic band at the bottom, and they're great. And you can absolutely do just that and have a really cute planner, because they've got deco in it. They've got boxes and checklists and all of that. And honestly, my first year, I almost just did exclusively Happy Planner stickers. So like I said, that's why I chose that, why I use multiple planners. When I first got into this, I thought people were crazy having all of these different planners, and you'd see them like in the background and they'd have a bookshelf full of planners. I'm like, how does this happen? Well, I know how it happens. I've been doing this for just about 2 years now, and it happens quite easily. All of a sudden you've got multiple planners. I've seen people do really cute ones for different projects, really cute Christmas ones, just for planning the holiday. I think that is a darling way to use an additional planner. Like I said, I have a separate planner that I use for my church culling, and then I have one that I carry with me, and it's not as involved. It's not my full to-do list, but it is my running errands list. It is my continuous shopping list. It's my to-do list that I think of things when I'm sitting and I'm waiting on somebody and something pops in my head. That's where I jot it down, or I get an idea for the shop and I jot it down there. So that one gets kind of pulled around with me a lot. And even though some would say, oh my goodness, that's ginormous for what you're using it for, it works really well for me. You'll hear folks talk about finding planner peace, and that means they've finally found the right size, the right format, the right layout, what have you, and that's when they're like, yes, I finally got it. Don't be afraid to change it up. If you find something isn't working, there are just so many options out there to make it work. But mostly, don't get so consumed with making it look beautiful that you lose all functionality. A planner should be functional. It should be a tool that you use in your life. David Allen wrote a book called Getting Things Done, and he talked so much about getting stuff out of our head and into a trusted system so that we can think creatively and we can problem solve creatively. And I find that's absolutely true. If I haven't sat down and thought about how next week is going by usually by Friday or Saturday, I feel uneasy. I feel flustered, and life is just not as good as when I can sit down and say, okay, it's going to be crazy, but at least I've got it on paper. I know where I'm going, you know, and I might not refer to it daily, but I know I've got it. There's this trusted system that's a backup to this brain of mine that doesn't remember everything every day. So I hope that you'll find that doing planners helps you with that, helps to declutter your mind, and helps you creatively problem solve, because it's not balls that you're juggling in your head that you're going all the time going, what am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? Because honestly, that's me all the time if I don't use my planner the way I should. So anyway, I hope this helps you out. I hope it demystifies some of the things we talk about all the time in this planner community that is really fun and really crazy. And you know, some sites, some Facebook groups are more friendly than others as far as answering new planner questions. Find a fun Facebook group that you feel like you can share in and ask your questions. I hope that you'll come find my Etsy store, and I hope that you'll come find my Facebook page. Right now I'm not a group, but maybe eventually I will be. But I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. You can reach me through Etsy Conversations, or like I said, come find me on Facebook, Apricot Tree Planning, and you know, we can converse that way too. I hope you have a wonderful day. It was really nice to talk with you, and I hope you enjoyed seeing my face instead of just my hands. Take care.